What's going on, beautiful people? It is I, your flying locomotive, and faster than a speeding bullet SuperCliff, coming at you live with a brand new video. And for today's majestic and fantastic video, we are continuing with Batman Superman, World's Finest, issue number 15. But before we get things started with everything that is Superman and Batman related, if you are new to the channel, then smash that like and subscribe button. That way you guys never miss out on anything that happens on this majestic channel. So what are you waiting for? Let's raise the bar and go full on Super Saiyan. Hit that subscribe button. Thus, without further ado, let's get to the action. Let's save the day with Batman Superman, World's Finest, issue number 15. Alrighty folks, so our story picks up a Red Tornado, where right now we see that he's conducting a search and rescue mission because, you know, that's what heroes do. But that's when Red Tornado's eyes begin to turn purple, and from there, he freaks the heck out because it's here where he's initiating Protocol Omega. Picking up exactly where the last issue left off, we return with Superman and Robin, whom in the moment are getting ambushed at Professor Ivo's lab by his newest creation, Ultra-Morpho, a biomechanical composite android that can replicate the elemental abilities of Metamorpho. But unlike Rex Mason, it's not limited to the elements found only in the human body. Instead, Ultra-Morpho can command any element on the periodic table and beyond, including the one element that can kill the Man of Steel, Kryptonite. With Ultra-Morpho holding Superman by the throat via its Kryptonite arm, that's when Robin comes to the Man of Steel's aid and with throwable explosives, and as a result, he brings the mountain crashing down on the android. With Dick trying to drag Clark out of the Kryptonite's range, Ivo's voice begins mocking the heroes. But check it, the way Ivo is making fun of them, it's coming off very derogatory towards humans, which is weird, you know, considering the fact that Ivo is a human. Thus, this raises suspicion that perhaps who's ever speaking isn't really Ivo. With Dick questioning about Simon Stagg android, the voice explains that it was one of his first creations that was programmed to funnel money and resources for him. But being a prototype, it started showing signs of potential. And if the android had been exposed, it would have risked setting Metamorpho on an investigative trail. And so they solved both problems by framing Rex Mason for the murder of Simon Stagg, sending Ultra-Morpho to take the android out in classic Metamorpho fashion, and leaving behind a corpse that no ordinary coroner would suspect. With the voice making it clear that Superman and Robin are next to die, that's when Ultra-Morpho breaks out from underneath the rubble. But before anything bad can happen, this is where we see the arrival of Metamorpho as Rex Mason forms a wall of sodium hydroxide in front of Robin, neutralizing the acidic blast in the process. And in addition, Metamorpho creates a dome of lead surrounding Superman in an effort to stop the Kryptonite radiation from affecting the Man of Steel. From there, we see the arrival of Batman, making an entrance by busting into Ivo's lab in an armored suit made out of the Metal Man. With the Metal Knights squaring off against Ultra-Morpho, that's when we pick up with the Doom Patrol over in Washington, D.C., where the team is facing off against Magog, an old-school JSA supervillainous that's puppetized the whole city, proclaiming that the robot revolution has begun. Now luckily, Robot Man gets an opening, and from there he spears Magog into oblivion, crashing them both through a wall. However, once Rita and Larry check up on Cliff, that's when they realize Magog had used the opportunity to possess Cliff via contact. And it's here where we see Robot Man's eyes start to glow purple, as he loses control of himself and begins to turn on his team. Picking back up with the Metal Knight facing off against the evil android, Mason comes up with a plan to finish off Ultra-Morpho, for which he needs Superman's help. Meanwhile, Bruce realizes Ultra-Morpho is learning to adapt to his fighting style. Therefore, a one-on-one fight is not going to be effective. And so with that, the Metal Men split up from Batman and flank Ultra-Morpho from all sides, buying Superman enough time to regenerate his power. And with Metamorpho transforming himself into a lead suit around the Man of Steel, Superman's finally able to go toe-to-toe with the android, hitting a devastating uppercut, which sends the baddie reeling. But that's when Ultra-Morpho launches a unique acid attack that burns Metamorpho off of Superman. With Robin also getting caught in crossfire and getting heavily injured from the acidic burn, Ultra-Morpho weakens Superman with Kryptonite and releases a gas that knocks out the Man of Steel and Batman out cold, thus escaping the premises with the unconscious bodies of both Batman and Superman, while simultaneously the Metal Man proceeds to run away. Elsewhere in Colorado, the robot revolution continues as the challengers of the unknown are battling Ultivac. Picking back up with Mason regaining consciousness, he tears into the Metal Men for running away like cowards. However, they let Metamorpho know that their prime directive is to protect human life, and based on their assessments, Mason and Robin were in mortal danger, and so they had to get them out of there and will return to the fight as soon as they are back at 100%. With Metamorpho making it clear that they're fine and that, it's time to go back, Dick stops him, but Mason questions whether or not Robin actually cares about his partner. But this causes Dick to lash out, as he tells Mason to never question his loyalty to Batman or Superman ever again. Like, dude, Batman's my dad, don't fuck with me. Basically making it clear that going back to get their asses kicked is stupid. Therefore, they need a plan. From there, Robin shows Mason a device that monitors Batman's vitals. And so as long as it's blinking, Batman is alive, which means there's a good chance that Superman is also breathing as well. So of course they're gonna go back, but not without calling reinforcements. And thus that's when Robin sends out communication to the Titans, letting them know that this is a code red alert and that he needs their help. But Kid Flash responds, letting Robin know that they were just about to call him for help because in the moment, shit's been hitting the fan, for the DC universe is having to contend with a robot revolution. Afterwards, we pick up with Clark coming back to his senses, to which he then finds himself in an unknown facility. Bruce fills him in on the need-to-knows. Basically everyone from Will Magnus to Toyman have all been kidnapped and are all wearing inhibitor collars. It's soon then made aware to us that the scientists who have been brought here, well, they're here because they all have one thing in common. They're all renowned masters of robotics and proficient in advanced AI, just like Ivo. Superman then spots Professor Magnus, who's shown to be working away on a big computer. However, upon confronting him, we see that Magnus is scared shitless. Legit, folks. He's literally pooping his pants. Now, the heroes suspect that the scientists have been captured by Amazo. However, in the back of the lab, Superman finds Amazo also being held captive as well, working away quietly like the rest. With Bruce questioning Doc Magnus for answers on what forced him to invent the stuff, that's when all three, Superman, Batman, and Doc Magnus, get suddenly zapped. For it's here where we see Ivo's new creation enter the scene, letting the world's finest know that Amazo was simply an antique plaything, a soulless doll capable of so little. Therefore, he is the upgraded Amazo 2.0, the child of Professor Ivo and Doc Magnus. For this is new Mazo, folks, and he's going to bring an end to the human race. Elsewhere in Gotham City, while Dick calls out to Supergirl for help, that's when Kara tells the boy Wonder that she's stuck in her own emergency at the moment, for we see the shocking return of Chemo, whose eyes are shown to be glowing purple. With Kara promising that she'll come to Dick's aid as soon as possible, that's when Robin loses control of the Batmobile, for we see the controls turned purple, thus making it clear to us that the Batmobile is no longer in control, and now it intends to drive itself directly into a brick wall. And that, folks, was the end of Batman Superman, World's Finest, issue number 15. And thank you guys for checking out my video, as it truly means the world to me. I know this is a very overused sentence, particularly whenever I cover the Batman Superman World's Finest series, but I don't care because I'm going to give you my honest opinion. Check it. Mark Waid and Dan Moore deliver another awesome issue featuring the World's Finest. When it comes to this series, you can tell that Mark Waid, the writer, really cares about DC and its characters, and not just the typical, all-star favorites like Batman or The Flash, but more so when it comes to the characters who, generally speaking, don't typically get the spotlight. Prime example is Metamorpho. Now, I've been reading comics for years, and I'm aware of the character, but getting the chance to read more with Rex Mason, it's great. I love the fact that Waid is taking characters who really don't come across, initially, at least in today's world, as cool or interesting characters, characters from the Silver Age era, and he gives them a new layer of paint. You see, unlike the New 52, where in that era, it was trying to mature or redefine the DC landscape in a sort of bro-ish way, Waid takes what was already established with people like Metamorpho and the Metal Man and just brings them into the fold with a modern paint job. I just love the exposure these characters are getting, and hopefully enough people vocalize this to the point where other writers decide to include Metal Man or whomever in their stories. Really what it comes down to is that this series, it makes the DC Universe feel like a community, and there's something really fun and joyful about that, which in turn makes the series fun to read. So yeah, as always, I'm your majestic sayer over at SuperCliff, and if you guys are new to the channel, then do me a solid by smashing that like and subscribe button, and also the notification bell so that you'll never miss out on an upload, and so that you'll always be kept up to date with your favorite top tier comics happening in the comic book world. Now tell me, what are your thoughts and opinions on this issue? Are you guys excited for issue number 16? Let me know down in the comment section below. And until the next video, peace. Giggity go.